I don't normally shoot with a hoodie on, so hopefully it won't mess me up. But this is a newer bow I got for specifically do some 3D shooting, but also it's got no sights. It's basically a bare bow. I'm not using anything other than this is some, I think some seal fur, shooting off the shelf. And it's what they call instinctive. It's more intuitive. So we all grow up, and we're taught it's not polite to point, but we all grow up learning how to point and pointing at something. So I'm looking up the hill and I'm pointing at it now. That was pointing at it. Aiming it, you can see I'm aiming quite a bit higher when I'm aiming the finger. So aiming is a learned thing. Pointing is something we pick up as we grow up. So what I have done, and this is what traditional or instinctive shooters do, is you train yourself to grip your bow the same way every time, knowing that if I point my knuckle or point my finger at the target, so I look at and focus on the target and point at it, not aim at it, but point at it, I should hit the target. So first I'm acquiring where I want to hit on the target, and I'm basically shooting center mass at the part that's removable, and I'm not going to aim or anything. I'm just pointing at. My hat's in the way a little bit. I hit a little bit low, so put the hat backwards so it's not interfering. But that's basically, and instinctive is not influenced. You can cant your bow to get it out of the way of your sight picture or anything like that, and so and you're not going to be influenced. So I'm just looking at it, pointing at it, and there's where the arrow goes. No sights, nothing other than the visual image in my head to do that. That's why I got this bow, just to practice that technique. Because when you go back to traditional techniques, it helps you with your more modern techniques. And just getting a lot of shots in. This is also a little bit lower poundage than I would normally. This is not actually a hunting poundage. This is just something that's lower poundage. And a little bit low on that one. Got to focus on the target and not talk. But that's the gist of it, is focusing on the target, pointing at it, and that's it. You're not, gap shooters, they learn how far below the target to aim their arrow, and they look at the tip of their arrow and put it there. People who do string walking, which I can string walk here, you'll see I'm gripping substantially below the arrow. That is a string walk. However, you're preloading your limbs unevenly, which some people would say is not the best way of doing it. Others say that doesn't matter on a modern bow, but here, we'll do another string walk. And I'm just picking a random distance. I know this is about an inch below. So as I draw this back, you'll see it pulls back differently on the limbs. And then letting it go in there. But I prefer not doing that. I prefer, which I'm still working on, I prefer instead of reaching under or gripping under, I like to one finger over, two under, and then just do a instinctive like that, put it right in there. So I'm a little apprehensive of hitting the camera, so I'm dropping them a little bit lower, but they're grouping. Put that one in the heart. So those are all instinctive. I'll do a string walk so you can see how much different it is with that arrow lining up with my eye practice and dropping it in there. Which some say that has an advantage, but maybe it does. You practice it. And then put a lower fixed knocking point. Some people do what they call a 25-yard crawl. Put a knocking point that basically is good for the 25-yard trajectory. And then they would adjust accordingly depending on how near or how far they are. I'll put that one up high. That one should show up. This hill is not the best for getting a stance, but it's not bad. That oop was me pulling my arrow off the shelf. I'll do another string walk, just so you can see the difference. That's it. Oh, I hate wearing my hat backwards, but the string caught on the corner of my glasses. Influence there messed me up. We'll shoot a fourth. I was trying to go for a perfect 3. There. That should have been the third one, but my glasses interfered. So these are my own homebrew. The shafts are a 31-inch 600 spine, and then I've got pink and white turkey feathers with fluorescent nocks, and then this is the bow. This company right here, I know that looks like TBOW, it's TAOW. This is a sideline, I believe, of Junsing. And you'll notice it looks a whole lot like the Hoyt Satori 19-inch hunter, and I believe they actually make it for them. Anyway, this has ILF limbs, so these limbs pop out. This thing doesn't require any tools, takes down just in minutes. You tip the limb down and pull out, and it pops right out of there. These are tuning plates right there for shimming out that I guess I'll call it the side shelf pusher. And then, like you can see, I'm using fur and shooting right off the shelf, not even using a rest. Really like this riser. It's a really nice. It's made out of 775 aluminum. Same thing they make M16s and M4s and all that out of for the military. It's a really nice unit. And then since I had pink veins, or pink turkey feathers, I decided to have a mix of black and pink cat whiskers on it. So, it's a nice bow. I like it. So a quick little video on taking this down. So ILF stands for International Limb Fitting. And it's a system. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a dovetail up in there. And so what would normally be on a compound or other bow, where the big fitting right here would be the fastener or the adjuster, it's actually just the adjuster, and that stainless part is part of the fastener. And they make several different, I like to use, instead of just bending it around my leg, I like to use a takedown tool. There's a few different ones. Some use leather pockets. I prefer a leather pocket on this end, but I've found on some of these inexpensive takedown tools that have the rubber right here, it's out of the way a little better for when your string comes off here. They make a thing called a tip to tip that's supposed to be completely out of the way. I have not ever used one, but basically you step on the string like that and you pull up on the bow and then take your string off just like that. So now it's slacked. And then I'll take that off that end. The easy way to do this is to invert the bow and use gravity in your favor. You'll want to roll this. The string doesn't want to be here, and I'm only going to take off one. You would do this for both ends, basically like that, and then you want to tip that down. See, the weight of it's already tipped it like that, and then it's essentially you pull it off, and it's just got a detent, and then it's got that dovetail that it slides into. So then getting it back in is kind of the reverse thing. You kind of get it tipped like that and get things lined up a little bit. You're going to push it with your thumb, and then that tip is what locks it. It can't come out once it's tipped like that. So that's how it goes. I'll put it all back together off camera, but I just wanted to show you so you see how ILF, and that makes limbs interchangeable, so you can get a lot of different poundages and whatnot like that, and change up your bow. So when you get used to a riser, you can change poundage easy.